When you're talking about a 9-year-old, this is the first discovery, right? Discovering these ideas and feelings and this thought process. And this is the time to help her with vocabulary. And it is the time to say, your feeling is valid because you're feeling it. Let's talk about why you're feeling it. It's not that the feeling, it's that let's talk about why you're even feeling this way. I like to talk about the word trigger. That's a word that makes a lot of sense to me now that I know what it means. Like things trigger me to either be like, yeah, I'm so happy, or they trigger me to feel a different way. And it's something, if we can explain, like, hey, you're feeling this, not because you want to feel this way. It's because something has triggered you or birthed or brought you into that question for yourself. You know, the visual for me is that seed. It's like, you know, hey, you, this is a seed that's been planted in you. This is why these questions are coming up. But we need to recognize, is this a weed or is this your favorite flower or something that God has planted? We need
That's really a good visual. Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is the hard truth, mothers. This is the time. Like for your young ones, whatever they may be battling, questioning themselves in certain ways, this is the time to develop the right thought process, because it's going to keep coming, because we live in an imperfect world and we understand spiritual warfare. It's going to keep coming, but it's about recognizing what it actually is so that you understand your reaction and go, okay, well, that's something that's not really about me. Okay. I see what that is.
Absolutely.
You know, good dialogue. Because I'll also caution, as you guys already know, because your moms, sometimes coming from mom or dad, it doesn't resonate the same. It's like they don't believe.
Very true.
Yeah. My mother, I can't tell you, like, there's a conversation I will never forget that I guess I regret. It was the truth. So I guess it's a good talking point. Like, I remember yelling at her when I was maybe 22, coming out of the record deal season. And probably Britney Spears was all up in my eyeballs.
Right.
Like I saw everywhere. And I was just like, Mom, why did you and Dad make babies when you knew they would be bigger? Like, I was so mad. Mad. Because my family
came from the hurt. Yeah.
It did. It's like, if only I looked like, and believe me, I have mentioned both of you in the past when I was a kid, if only I looked like everybody else that I look up to, right? Maybe I would have had a chance to blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you really do, your focus is shifted and you have a lot of shame. If your actual physical self is getting in the way of your dreams. Yeah. It's a hard thing to figure out when you don't know the language growing up. It's hard.
Yes, obviously. I know, right?
Hard when you know the language, you know.
Exactly.
I feel like that's the dialogue between the parent and the child, or the caregiver and the children, is so crucial and so important. Also, age appropriate, being mindful of age appropriate conversations, because the conversations that me and my husband have with our 16-year-old is going to be different than the conversation that I have with our 10-year-old. And so, but I do believe that trying to dig a little bit deeper about why they feel the way that they feel is definitely part of solving whatever that problem could potentially become, having those tough conversations, but in an age appropriate way. Yeah. And then revealing the truth, to these kids, and helping them to unbelieve the lies that have been told. Yeah. It's hard. It's not an easy conversation to have.
Yeah, I agree. It's necessary. It's and it's also really, really good, for all the other parents out there who may be watching. It's also good to make sure that when you are ready to enter into this conversation with your kids, you are in a place where you're not going to get triggered if they say something mean about themselves. If your child comes to you and they're like, I am a horse face. I am, and my eyes, what is this? What is that? And this thing. And you, like, we're very quick to say, shut up. No, no, no. Like, no, that's horrible. Do not think to kind of instill maybe like the fear tactic. My encouragement to everyone, especially because it's so hard for them to believe you anyway, sometimes that they're gorgeous or that they're fabulous, just let them talk, let them cry, let them get it out and really absorb where they are and say what you're feeling is completely normal. This is makes sense. Now let's unpack, let's label what this is and why it's happening. I don't know if you guys have ever been in therapy, but it's kind of that same approach. Like, hey, I'm curious, what's happened? When did you start feeling that way? Can you remember why? Can you remember what you were looking at? Can you remember what was told to you? Because that way, to me, knowing the relationship I had with my mother was so close all those years, we could tell each other anything. And I know that it's not always partnership in a family, but knowing that I wouldn't be shamed for anything that I would say was very important to be able to say. And so,
that's such good advice, Jennifer. There are so many times when I am working through those things with her, and it's hard to not be like, what are you talking about? Like, don't you see? And then I have to it's what I've actually been praying about lately. Like, help me, Lord, to just be more patient and gracious to her. It's not like, how dare you have this, but I have to understand how to let her talk through it and then say, I know you are having these feelings. What did you say? You said that
they're valid. It's completely normal. You're a human.
It's normal. Exactly. But let's understand why they're not true and like kind of reverse it.
That's right. Like, I like for you that seed, seed idea where it's like, okay, this has been planted. Like, this is, now think about the Bible verse about where you scatter the seeds right now. Again, like if someone told me that I was ugly, that would have been a seed scattered on the stone or the rock or whatever.
You're like, that's not going to go down.
You're not watering that seed.
I'm adorable. Look at this bone structure. I'm fabulous. Right?
No water for that seed.
There's no crying.
No
crying for that. But what happens is when your child is affected, it's landed in fertile, open, a part of her or him that is considering letting it stay and letting it and nurturing it and watering it. And that's where you as the parents have to be, the goal for you is that patience, like you said, Mylin, where it's just been planted. It's something you can rip out. It's something that can be messed with and gardened out of that area. It can be changed, especially in this young age range. It's when you're older and you haven't dealt with it. Like, I didn't deal with it forever. Really, like a weed, that there's still tendrils, there's still roots that I'm continuing to rip out. And that's what I mean by it's a commitment. It's a lifelong commitment.
Yeah.
Even if your daughter gets it and you guys have to deal with it like every 2 weeks. And it's like, hey, it happened. We're going to rip it out. We're good. Are you good? Are we good? Cool. And it may happen over and over again. But the fact that it's always shallow, that's the better scenario, right? Because we've all dealt with not being merciful to ourselves.
Right.
And that's the biggest bully. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that before, but it's the biggest bully is yourself. I have been meaner to myself than anyone else has been in my life. Meaner, the thoughts in my head. And so if we can help this next generation understand how to not let those thoughts stay and make that some really weird comfort zone, which it becomes weird comfort zone of shame and unforgiveness to ourselves,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like that.
Woo, no, girl, you are just dropping some pearls. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
She's got
a little research. Research.
It's so valuable, man. And especially because, I know you're now helping a whole bunch of kids, young adults with PCG. You're helping these people become super amazing artists. And so give us like, what are you doing physically?
on over here.
What's the title? What's your title?
I wish I had this as a kid, right?
Oh my gosh, that's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because of what this company stands for. So PCG Artist Development, the PCG stands for Premier Career Guidance. And this company has been around for over a decade. But I only joined a little less than 4 years ago. And the reason why I joined, it was actually a connection from my church. One of our sales reps from PCG was like, hey, like we're both on the same worship team. And he's just like, I really think that you need to check this out. So I met with the co-founder and CEO, who is still in that position. And he saw a lot of potential right away. And it's like, he just kind of started putting me to work. I mean, it was this boutique company. And we really were originally servicing this tuition-based clientele, Premier Career Guidance. And so we're a small and mighty company, and we have never advertised in a large way. It's never been like that. It's been word of mouth, and it takes we're looking for that 1% of the perfect storm of a client, right, where their age range makes sense, their goals, their family, their discipline, their passion for what we're going to make them go through, as far as development, everything needed to be, in that right space. And so in a way, in the last 4 years, I've gotten deeper and deeper into the company. So now I'm president of our online store, you could say. It's PCG Online. So basically, I develop curriculum, I develop modules for our online store. And if you want to think of it outside the box, it's like our CEO is the doctor, and I'm the pharmacy. As far as this, all of our modules and all of our sessions and services are listed on PCG Online, and anybody can go look at it, but it's also a subscription-based store, Okay. Again, because we're trying, we need to be able to manage those clients, and we don't want to grow too big too fast so that we don't cannibalize.
And you want serious people, like, well,
yes,
you want people who are going to actually be like, okay, we're doing this, we're putting the value in it, and be serious. Yeah.
We put a lot of manpower and a lot of heart behind each client. And so over the years, because a lot of our clients stay with us for multiple years, and you start growing with these people. And a lot of the times I meet them when they're 10 or maybe they're 14. And then in a blink of an eye, they're figuring out senior year in high school and like, am I going to do this or college, or what am I doing? And so we're there for all of that, because it's a tribe mentality. It's a team mentality. Yeah. So what I do is, let's say I'm the communication hub as far as PCG Online. I help coordinate everybody's schedules and curriculums, just a lot of that inside kind of note taking and making sure everyone's on the same page with all of our platforms. But then on the side, I also am a coach and a provider, which of course is my love. It's because I'm an A-type personality that I'm also in the executive realm,
right?
Because
you can do both. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love being on the inside of everything, because that honestly helps me do better for everyone involved. So I would say I'm, president of the online community. I'm an executive within the staff structure, and then I'm a provider for anything from lyric videos to live show, including virtual live show, and then vocal technique and vocal production. I just kind of do, we do all the things, because it just depends on the chemistry within the client's spectrum of who they prefer working with. But we have like hundreds of providers, and we have tens upon tens of clients, that come through. But the big goal for us, and what I say to every orientation client meeting, is that we are interested in shaping you from the inside out. We want you in this day and age to understand what it is to be a businesswoman or a businessman. You, in this age, you have so much more access to social media, to promoting yourself digitally, and you're going to get lost in the shuffle. And we want to make sure that if you ever get to a level where you want to consider a record label, that you know who you are as an artist, versus maybe in our generation, it was, they're going to tell you who you are as an artist.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I believe that's how we're going to shape the culture of recording artistry in the future, is to get artists more confident from the inside out. whatever that looks like, And so we're not here to cookie cutter anybody. We're here to really pull from the inside of you who you are to be, like who you're supposed to be. And that includes shape, right? And so we approach it from a place of health. We want you to have the best inside out experience for your body. Your body is your machine, your vocal, right? There's so much that is attached chemically to how you feed your body and how you move your body. And sure, like when you're younger, maybe it's easier to make change. But this is just like we were talking about, your daughter, Mylan, this is the time to develop the means and to develop the vocabulary and the mindset to make it something that it's for your livelihood, not to punish you day by day by making you get on the treadmill or whatever you need to be doing. It's about, I want to love my life to the fullest, which means move and feed myself in a certain way and love myself every step of the way. And so that's part of my kind of inside ministry and part of PCG's ministry. Honestly, we ourselves as a ministry as well. We serve a lot of different cultures and spiritual belief systems, but we are a ministry. We do love Jesus collectively. And so we inject that love and that support into each of our clients. So yeah, that's what it is. We develop artists. And honestly, I can't imagine a better job for me because I get to organize and uplift and help a new generation. Like I would much rather see other people succeed. Right? Like I had my moment to figure all that out for myself. And I've come to a point where if I get on a stage, kind of like, what Dee Dee did, sure, I'll kill it for the moment. I'm fine. That's fine. but my day to day may look different. Right. My new purpose may have evolved over time. It doesn't mean I don't love to do the things, but it just doesn't have to be my trophy at the end of the day. Now my trophy at the end of the day is bettering someone else's life and understanding how that blesses me too. And again, easier said than done sometimes, but that is what I know I'm made to do, is to help people. I've learned it's really not about me anymore. And that's kind of a relief.
Right.
Really
Yeah.
Amen.
I know. I know. It's not
really
about us, right?
Yeah, it really is. I guess the final thing about all that is, through PCG Artist Development, we have a lot of new branches now. I talked about PCG Online, but we also have something that I'm super excited about. Looking back on my time as an independent artist and wishing I have this fabulous content. I don't know how to get it out there really. You can throw $15 at Facebook, but who knows if it's going to do anything. But we have a guy who is amazing. He's our head of digital strategies. And we have a subscription to PCG Digital where it's all that stuff. And you've probably seen in my posts, like I repost like 100,000 views, 500,000, a million, 2 million views on some of these things. And it's because of our technology that, our head of digital strategy has developed. And it's a tailored software that all of us would have salivated for like 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, And so I'm excited obviously I'm excited for everybody to try that. So all of those services are actually open to any kind of business. That's like anybody. Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm so excited. That's the one where we can be like, hey, come one, come all, just come on in. There's a subscription. And then there's just a limited version of services that are specifically for people like that they're trying to get their name out there on social media. Now, Dee Dee, is it the case now? I've heard a rumor that Broadway, maybe before COVID, but now even auditioning for Broadway, now your socials are involved. Is that right?
I've heard that some people have gone into an audition, whether it's Broadway or television and film, and the question came up, how many followers do you have on Instagram?
Wow.
And so I've heard that, but it's not happened to me. So, yeah,
you're kind of further along in the whole situation.
Well, no, I just think I haven't auditioned in a long time, so I know that it plays a part.
So, and that's what we've noticed. Yeah, and so for people who feel like they're really frustrated because they have all of this to give to the world, but they just can't. They haven't figured out the numbers game, and let's say they haven't figured out the camera game, and they haven't figured out the video game or the how to do interviews game. Like we're here to help people figure out all the stuff that they're not so great at. And we're here to help undergird them as a team to learn how to be an independent business person as a recording artist and to top it all off, as far as all of our branches, because there's a few more, like we have a college program, we have all this stuff, but we also,
that's so cool.
I know.
BCG.
We all out. We figured it all out. Like we're like on this sort of like high now. Like we're literally like, woo, like fireworks have happened now.
That's
but
amazing.
we also have, we are now PCG Records as well, and so we distribute through Sony Orchard. So there's even an end game, right? Like
wow.
for the client, like if it makes sense for everyone. So it's great. Like I'm so proud of the company. I have seen exponential growth just in the 3+ years that I've been in the middle of it. And now I'm just kind of in it. Like I'm in it. I'm just, I don't know. Like
I love that.
I'm all in. I just believe in it so much.
And we're speaking to the president.
That's right.
Online.
That's Miss President too. No.
So privileged.
Are you guys, you're primarily based in Nashville?
Right now, our staff is primarily based in Nashville. We do have a hub in Austin. We have a hub in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
And my work takes me mostly between, I would say, Texas and Tennessee. Before COVID, we were really into live events. And I think we're about to kind of in this coming year, get back into that because, I love live events.
Yeah.
So, I really enjoy those. So we're looking to do more of those. We have a 10th anniversary coming up with our 2022 boot camp, but that's what we love to do, is actually get in front of people and really nurture them and show them their next. Because as we all know, if too much is thrown at you, no matter if you're just a kid or a career kid or an artist kid and all in between, sometimes it's too much and we start self-doubting that we're going to be able to do anything. But just that next level, here's the next for you to work on, and then here's your next thing. That's like my mother, like my nurturing, all of that comes out in those meetings, in those shows, in that kind of a boot camp. Honestly, if that's the rest of my life, I'm completely happy doing that.
Yeah.
Right now I work a lot from home, and right now I am in Nashville. But honestly, in this next chapter, I have a feeling I'm going to be kind of all over for a while, and it's going to make my heart happy to have that new adventure.
All this information you shared, you have so much wisdom. It blows me away. And just thank you. Thank you for being open and vulnerable and honest and just willing to just give it out, because so many people want to be like, this is how I have to be, and we know that the more we are able to share truth and what we've been through and how we've come out of it because of the Lord. Yeah. It helps more people. So thank you so much for being with us, Jennifer.
Yes. And thank you for being a light to so many others aspiring to be in this business that we call show, but in a loving and a nurturing way.
Yes.
Sharing your gift with others and the fact that you're helping so many people through your experience. We're so grateful for you, Jen.
We are. We love you so much.
Congratulations on all of the wonderful things that are happening in your life. Do you want to share about any upcoming things that are coming up, or if
in your socials, like where everybody can find you?
Music that you put out.
I have a website, jennifermcgill.com, and you can find all my stuff on social media. The Jennifer McGill is usually what you would type in for me. What I'm kind of proud about is my YouTube channel. There is a course that I have done that I will be bringing back. You can buy it and download it online kind of vibe at some point. It's called my Living Your Unbreakable Life course. So I have a playlist that goes through all the songs that I talk about and all the lyric videos attached to kind of your homework, if you will. But even more exciting for me is all of the lyric videos and videos that I've done personally as far as editing, including some of the ones that I shot. In particular, I would love for you ladies to check out Stronger Than Anything. It's from my Unbreakable album. My Unbreakable album was released in 2017. And while we were in isolation last spring, I was out in the countryside of Illinois, and I shot all by myself, like in all these different lands, and then edited together the video for Stronger Than Anything. And I'm just so proud of it because I love editing. I love production. I'm not a cinematographer. I'm not a videographer, but I did my best in isolation by myself. But I do a lot of lyric videos for clients, and I absolutely love it. And so that's like a big list that you could check out.
You do lots of live shows at home too, yes?
Okay, so like when we were starting COVID, starting COVID, you know, when we all started COVID.
Yeah.
That's a landmark. So at the time of when COVID started, and I was in isolation, I really, there was other stuff going on, like other, you know, civil rights, human rights. There was a lot of stuff that was starting to come to the surface of awareness for, I think, a bigger amount of people all over. And I felt really helpless for a lot of reasons. But I was like, okay, how can I be me? How can I speak to me wanting to reach out and help and influence in a way that makes sense for me? You know, how can I help? And so I decided to create a Stage It benefit concert series. And I did the first one, and I can't remember how many people were there, but the fact that I could donate to 3 different causes that also served what I felt was going on in the world. It was the NAACP. It was No Kid Hungry, for all the kids that if they're not showing up to school, you don't get fed, right? So I wanted to donate to that one. And then my cousin has a real heart for the Pastor's Discipleship Network. So I, you know, those were my 3 big charities. And then Nikki DeLoach, our Mouseketeer sister, she is, of course, is very passionate about the Alzheimer's Association. And so recently I've made that as like, hey, if we hit a certain mark, we're also going to donate to a 4th charity. So I've created this unbreakable family is what we call our tribe. And it's literally a whole other ministry. We get onto that stage at concert usually every month, and we give to this cause, and I sing a few songs. And sure, many of them are from the New Mickey Mouse Club times, which is super funny to sing to yourself, like my version of Wind Beneath My Wings from when I was like 10. And you're hearing the little voice, but you're also hearing the big voice. It's kind of, it's eerie and fun at the same time. And so I actually, Dee, I sang Escapade this last weekend.
Oh, how fun.
And it was a request, because obviously that wouldn't have been like, sure, I'm going to go sing Escapade. But I would tell the story about how you did it in the parade and how I'm just doing this backwards running man behind you for like most of the song, because I wasn't one of the dancers. And so I'm back here like, Merry Christmas, everyone, like figuring it out. And you guys are doing all these amazing things. You know, one of my other favorite ones that people haven't asked me to do yet to sing, but Promise of a New Day, My Lynn. That was one of my favorite numbers to dance to. It was so good.
Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
So good. So it's like, you know, I'm just kind of always living, like I'm kind of 1 foot into all of our Mouse memories, because a lot of my fans, we come together and celebrate our childhood, and we give causes. So Stage It is a big, big deal for me. Like the benefit concert, we have prizes for the top givers. If you personally donate $100 or more, you get right into the after party that now happens after the show. Just all this time to be intimate with each other and connect. Like also online, I have something called McGill Mail. So if you go look in my store, on jennifermcgill.com, there's something called McGill Mail, where I basically do subscriptions for pen pals and stuff. It's so much fun.
Oh, wow. Girl, how do you got all this time?
I
don't know. Look, I'm not a mom. How about that? I'm not a mom.
Well,
so
but you know,
I got all this other non-mom time. That's probably what happened.
True. But you're doing some amazing stuff, and you may not be a mom, but you are giving these people and these kids the help and the information that they need. So hats off to you, babe. Thank you again for being on our show.
I love you guys.
Oh, we love you.
Love you too.
That was so good. So good. I hope that you guys have enjoyed as much as we have, just the wisdom and the information that she's given, and just her heart, man. She's just
huge
a
heart.
Lovely person. If you're in Nashville, go check it out. If you're an upcoming artist and you want to have a better idea of how to get started in this business, go to PCG Artists.
Yes.
And Jennifer McGill.
Yes. And also, support her Stage It shows, where she's benefiting all of these different causes that mean so much to her.
Well, thanks, guys. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thank you again for all your support. Keep watching, and we will see you soon.
Peace and love. Let's go for a jog.